The Breakfast Club. Wow. I remember seeing this film spring break of 1985 with my mother, and it was a really vital time because I was in 8th grade and just a few months away from being in high school myself. So to me, that was everything it was going to be. We didn't have those times where we got to visit the high school as 8th graders that they do now to get to see what it was like. So to me, I was walking into Shermer High School, even though I lived in Meeker, Oklahoma. And what I found interesting about the film then and even today is that it represents the social classes of school really, really well. Even though we call those social classes something different today in school, they're still there. The jocks, the brainiac kid, the prom queen, the princess, if you will, the outcast that doesn't seem to fit in. All those social norms, if you will, that are awful, unfortunately, or classifications still exist. This film had such an impact on me as an artist that when I was a director at Shawnee High School, I decided to do a one-act version of this, and we updated all the costumes and we updated the sets. And we even went as far as updating the famous song by Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. Brian White, who is now the lead singer of a band that's doing really well called the Damn Quells. Maybe we'll get to see them live again if COVID lets us. He was a Shawnee High School student at the time, and he had a band, and they covered that song for us. And it was one of the coolest things I'd ever got to be a part of, was bringing all that back to life. And the audiences who hadn't even seen the film, because so many people have not seen Breakfast Club. I have so many students who, when they come into class, the first time they've ever seen the Breakfast Club is in class. It was just awesome that it still had a huge impact on the audiences and still worked today. My overall grade, as I said before in the intro video, I think I said it, I will use the grading system because I've taught for 25 years and it works in the classroom, so it should work here. Breakfast Club gets an A, easily gets an A. The acting in the Breakfast Club is superb. The standout performance for me is Paul Gleason, who plays the principal who is doomed to spending his Saturday afternoons and mornings with these troubled students. And as we learn in the movie, he's going to be spending about 7 weeks, according to Brian, with Bender alone, who earns extra weeks while he's there. Also, one of the beauties of this film for me is that it's really one location. You stay at Shermer High School the entire movie. The main characters are dropped off there in the morning and they're picked up there in the afternoon. And you're there with them, you're trapped. And that might be the beauty of the film, is that you feel like you're stuck in detention. But the beauty of the movie is they take an emotional journey. They change from who they are when the movie started, who we see, to who they are in the course of this Saturday stuck in detention. And probably the classic shot from the movie that's been used over and over again in other movies is the last shot we see. We hear Brian reading us the letter that they all came up with, or the essay that they wrote. And then we see Bender walking across what looks like a soccer field. And the very last thing he does is he raises his fist in the air and just pumps it. That was all improvisation as well. John Hughes told him just to go out there and do something, and that's what he came up with, and it works. It's so iconic now, and it's the perfect image for that movie. The Breakfast Club is the high school movie that all other high school movies are based off of. I was honored to have gotten to see this film in theaters in 1985 with my mom. So thanks, Mom. And you bet, The Breakfast Club gets an A. My next review will be over the 1993 comedy So I Married an Axe Murderer, starring Mike Myers.